Hello, this is cjhoyle. Today is Sunday, August the 15th, 2021, and back behind me you can see my bicycle with my kayak loaded up onto my trailer. So my plan for today is to use the bicycle to tow the kayak down to Cherry Beach, where I'll then paddle over to explore the lagoons of the Toronto Islands. Alright, so here I've arrived at Cherry Beach. Now I'm going to get the kayak unloaded, get the bike locked up, and get out on the water. Alright, so here I am out in the water, and I'm going to start making my way, heading over that way in the west direction towards the eastern channel, where I'll then paddle through the channel into the inner harbor and start beginning my way paddling within the sheltered lagoons of the Toronto Islands. Alright, so here I've reached the eastern channel. Over there you can see the skyline, and the land directly across is Center Island. So I'm going to work my way over in that direction there so I can come around that tip and go into the sheltered lagoons of the islands. So I've just about reached that tip here now, and if I look back across the eastern channel that way from where I came from, you can see the Pole Steam Juno, which is an ocean-going bulk carrier that's presumably here in the harbor dropping off some things here in Toronto. From over here there's a beautiful view of the skyline of Toronto. So from the eastern channel over there, I've now paddled my way around to the south side of Center Island, and I made my way as far as the Wards Island ferry dock, where you can see the William English ferry docked there waiting to take passengers back to the city. And I'm now going to make my way just beyond there and turn to the left and head in behind Algonquin Island. There you can just see that ferry pulling away from the shore there. The William English ferry first went into operation in 1935. Adjacent to the ferry dock over on the other side of this channel is a breakwater, which was constructed using the hull of an old ship, which was called the Rapids Queen. The Rapids Queen first went into operation in 1892, and the reason they called it the Rapids Queen is because it was designed to be able to go through the Lachine Rapids on the St. Lawrence River, and it was originally a passenger ship which took passengers up and down the St. Lawrence River. It's been sunk here to work as a breakwater to protect the boats inside of the Queen City Yacht Club. Over here on the right is the clubhouse for that yacht club, and parked within this channel here are all the boats. So further down the channel, here's another look at some of the boats. The ones that are docked on the left side are on Center Island, and the ones on the right side are on Algonquin Island, and that bridge up ahead is the bridge which connects those two islands together. Here I'm just about to paddle underneath of this bridge, and you can see some people up riding their bikes on top of it. Just beyond the bridge over here on the left is a rental spot, which rents both kayaks and stand-up paddleboards. Over on the other side you can see some of the houses where people live over there on Algonquin Island. There are also a few small houseboats here in this channel. Over on the left side of the channel is Toronto Fire Station 335, which serves the needs of the islands. You can see it also has an ambulance there in addition to the fire truck. Alright, so I've paddled all along here, and I've now reached the end of Algonquin Island, and there's a nice gap looking out that way with a look at the Toronto skyline. And further over here to my left is another island known as Snake Island, and it provides further shelter to the island here. So I'm going to keep on paddling that way further along through the lagoons. So here's another look at Snake Island, and just up ahead here there's a bridge which connects Center Island with Snake Island. Underneath of this bridge there's a sign warning about some of the hazards to be aware of if you come skating here in the winter. I made a video a few years ago where I came here in the winter and I shared my experience of skating through these lagoons. So just beyond Snake Island there's another gap here, and beyond it there's another island which is called South Chippewa Island, and the lagoons continue over that way. But I'm actually going to make a right turn this way and head through these lagoons here to go and see another island. So I've just paddled a little bit up this way, and this is the north side of South Chippewa Island, and there's another island here which is called Senator Frank Patrick O'Connor Island. In this small channel here you can see a mother mallard duck with her 4 little ducklings. It's really nice and calm and peaceful inside of this sheltered cove here. So I've now reached the end of that island which had the long name, and this next island that's up this way is North Chippewa Island. In between these two islands there's this stone tower here, which I've never known what it's for. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comment section below. So looking up ahead between South Chippewa Island on the left and North Chippewa Island on the right. There's a small bridge there, and beyond it you can see some of the masts of the boats for the Royal Canadian Yacht Club, RCYC. Over top of the bridge there's a big gate which restricts access to North Chippewa Island, because North Chippewa Island is one of 3 islands which is restricted only to yacht club members. This is a pretty low bridge, but I think I should be able to squeeze my kayak underneath it there. Alright, so now I've come through that bridge and I'm now in the Royal Canadian Yacht Club. The boats which are docked over there on the left are on an island known as South Island, and over on the right those boats are docked on an island known as RCYC Island, and the 2 islands are connected together by that pedestrian bridge there. And if I look over a little bit this way, you can also see a bridge and a causeway which connect together North Chippewa Island with RCYC Island. They've got quite an elaborate collection of flags here on this bridge. Over here on the right on RCYC Island, you can see behind those boats, just through those trees, is the main clubhouse for the Royal Canadian Yacht Club. Just beyond RCYC Island, there's another gap with a beautiful view looking over the skyline of Toronto. And then beyond there, there's another island, which is called Algonquin Island, and it's an island that's accessible to the public. So I've now paddled over to the south side of Algonquin Island, and you can see there's a bridge there which connects it to this island over here, which is called Middle Island. And Middle Island is home to the Centreville Amusement Park, among other things. And straight ahead there you can see the log flume ride, where there is some passengers heading up to the top, just about to start descending down the big drop into the water at the bottom. At some times in the year it's possible to paddle in between Olympic Island and Middle Island, but you can see with the Centreville Amusement Park open right now, they've got this section closed because they've got swan boat rides there, and further down that way they also have the bumper boats. So I'm now just heading over towards the south side of Middle Island, and you can see there's a channel there between it and Center Island. Over here on the left is the St. Andrews by the Water Church, which opened back in 1884, but it wasn't originally built in this location here. They relocated it here, which they had to do by splitting the church in half and rejoining it back together again. Over top of this channel here, there is a chairlift style ride, which is part of the Centreville Amusement Park. It allows passengers to ride up in the air from Middle Island over to Center Island and then back again. Over towards the southeast side of Centreville, there's a petting zoo which is called Far Enough Farm. So over here to the south of Middle Island is Center Island, and straight ahead here you can see a building which is called the Boathouse. It's actually a building which does canoe and kayak rentals. Unlike the other one that I saw earlier though, this one's not a private business, it's actually operated by the City of Toronto. You can see this canoe over here has the Toronto logo on the front of it, and that's because it was presumably rented from this boathouse. So I paddled closer to that bridge now, and over here on my right is a restaurant called the Carousel Cafe. The Center Island Bridge is the bridge that sign that I saw earlier was warning that you should never skate underneath of it because the ice is always very thin there, which I think is very good advice. So I've now paddled underneath of that bridge, and I'm over here on the other side where the channel opens up into a much wider section. This water body here is known as Long Pond. Over there on the other side of Long Pond you can see a grandstand, and that's because for many years they've used Long Pond as a place for hosting regattas. Over here on the left there's another island which is called Forestry Island. Forestry Island doesn't have any bridges connected to it, so it's water access only, but there isn't anything built over there. Up ahead I can see a big passenger boat called the St. Marie I, which looks like it's circling Forestry Island just like I am. Not too many passengers today. Straight ahead on Center Island I can see a bunch of radio towers, and that building that you can see straight ahead there is part of the Island Water Treatment Plant. Curling around this way I can see a bunch more of those radio towers. I'm not exactly sure what they're used for. All this land, which is straight ahead, doesn't have any roads or pathways through it which are open to the general public, so I don't know very much about this part of the island. Here's one of the police boats. So here I've come around Forestry Island and back into Long Pond, and straight ahead you can see the CN Tower peeking out from behind Middle Island. So I'm further west along Long Pond now, and you can see there's a gap there, and that's where Middle Island ends, and on the left is another island called Muggs Island, and the gap in between those islands is called Deep Pike Cut. And the boats which you can see over there are docked at the Toronto Island Marina, located on Middle Island. It seems like I see a great egret every time I go paddling. Straight ahead there's another small island, and this one's known as Donut Island. And that's because the island is round, and the middle of it has a pond. Back behind Donut Island there's some nice marshland here. I believe I can see some turtles over there up ahead. Looks like there's 2 turtles on that log there, and one of them is pretty big. And this other log over here looks like it has 4 turtles on it. Usually when you get close to them, they want to jump in the water to get away from you, but I don't really want to disturb them, so I'm not going to get too close. Up ahead there's another passenger touring boat. This one's called the Triton 6. So I've now reached the end of Long Pond, and over here on the west side of Muggs Island, you can see there's another yacht club here. This one's called the Island Yacht Club. And as far as I know, that's really the only thing on Muggs Island. There aren't any bridges which connect to it, so it's water access only and otherwise undeveloped as far as I know. So the water over here beyond Long Pond, going out that way, is called Blockhouse Bay. And the land which is over there on the left is part of Center Island, which is called Hanlans Point. And I'm going to keep on paddling down this bay over this way, which will take me towards the old lighthouse, which is in a part of that bay which is known as Hanlans Bay. The boats which you can see docked along here are using the Hanlans Point mooring wall, which I believe they're able to pay a fee and moor here overnight. You can see there are quite a few boats making use of that service today. Over here on the left there's a small cove, which I'm going to go and check out. Nice and sheltered and calm inside of here. Passing me up ahead is the Oriole, which is another passenger ship, which provides tours of the Toronto Harbour, including the islands here. So I've now reached the end of the Hanlans Point mooring wall, and things open up a little bit here into Hanlans Bay. Although straight ahead you can see an island which is called Hanlans Island, and over there on the right of it you can see, poking through the trees there, is the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse, which was built back in 1809, and it's the oldest lighthouse on any of the Great Lakes, and I believe it's also the second oldest lighthouse in all of Canada. Further down the bay over there on my left is an old building, which I believe is part of the Island Water Treatment Plant, which you can see more of over there. We're now viewing it from the other side of where we saw it earlier. There's a closer look at the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse, which no longer operates anymore, and in the 200 years since it was first built, the lands of the islands have actually shifted around quite a bit, and it's actually no longer even on the point anymore. Here's a closer look at more of the buildings of the Island Water Treatment Plant. And over here on the right is a building which used to be the public school for the students who lived here on Toronto Island, but they've since built a newer school, and this building now here is used as an artist studio space operated by an organization called Artscape. Just around from the lighthouse there's a small gap here which leads into a small area called the Trout Pond. Things are nice, quiet and calm inside this pond here, and there's a floating platform over there, which I believe was placed here for the birds. There's also a put-in spot over here in this pond, which you can use if you want to portage from here, because if you walk directly over that way, you'll very soon reach the outside of the island. So if I wanted to, I could use that portage and I could carry my kayak over to the outside and I could paddle on the outside of the island back to where I started at Cherry Beach. I'm not going to do that though, because today there's quite a bit of wind out there, and I much prefer paddling in these calmer waters, even though it'll mean I'll have a repeat of the scenery that I've just seen. Before I head back out that way though, I'm going to take a break here and have some lunch in the shade from these trees. So from my spot up here on the land, I've got a nice view of Hanlans Island, the water treatment plant, and the old lighthouse over there. And on the menu today, I've got some raw vegetables and an egg salad sandwich. Alright, so here I am back in the water and ready to begin my journey back to Cherry Beach. So I'm just working my way back up through Long Pond, and as you can see, I'm now heading straight into the wind. I just paddled inside of this small duck pond, which is just beyond the Center Island Bridge. And over on here on the left, you can see more of the Centreville Amusement Park. Over here I can see the Mine Coaster, another one of the Centreville rides, with the chairlift up above it. And there's even a great blue heron inside this pond here. So I've now made it back as far as RCYC, and rather than taking the longer route which I took to get here, going around the other side, I'm going to take a right here and head along the south side of South Island. Alright, so I've now paddled to the end of RCYC, and I've got a bridge to paddle underneath of up ahead. This bridge connects together Center Island with South Chippewa Island over on the left. Just to the south of this cove here is the Toronto Island Disc Golf Course, and you can see one of the disc golf holes there. So I'm now making my way through the Eastern Channel, and right there you can see I'm being passed by the Kajama tall sailing ship. Alright, so here I've made it back to Cherry Beach. Now to go and see if my bike and trailer are still locked where I left them. And thankfully they are. I hope you enjoyed joining me on this adventure today. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.